Hey, good evening, everyone. You are at the planning board meeting for the city of Bangor. It is November 5th, 2025 at 7 o'clock in the evening. My name is Reese Perkins, chairman of the board. I will introduce other board members and city staff. Board members we have in attendance this evening are Michael Bazinet, Ted Brush, Vice Chair Jonathan Boucher. Tricia Hayes is absent this evening. Ken Hume, Janet Jonas, and Justin Cartier, our alternate, is also absent this evening. Board members are volunteers from the Bangor community, and so we really appreciate their help. City staff members in attendance also include Planning Officer Anya Collette, Assistant Solicitor Grace Innes, City Engineer Jefferson Davis, and Planning Analyst Matthew Altiero, who's helping us out with the video and sound and so forth. And thank you guys all also for being here this evening and getting the meeting set up for us. Tonight's a little bit different because we have old business. The first thing on there is meeting minutes, but we don't actually have those, so that's been postponed to the next meeting. We also have an item that we postponed from the last meeting, as you all may recall, because the applicant was not here. And so I'm gonna go through the planning board process of what we do this evening, just so you all have that kind of out there. And then I will get to the item we had from last week, and then from the last meeting, and then I will get to the new item that we have this week after that. So first thing is, the planning board has two main roles. We review amendments to the land development code, which typically include either changes to zoning districts or changes to text within the code. Our review of these amendments includes adherence to the comprehensive plan, as well as considering any applicable concerns from the public. Our vote on these items is in the form of a recommendation to the city council as to whether the item ought to pass or ought not to pass. These items are still voted on finally at the city council, usually at the next meeting after this one. There is one zone change this evening on the agenda, as I said, and that is the first item on the agenda. So secondly, what the planning board does is we approve or we consider regulatory authority for the land development permits, which is commonly known as site plan review. We review larger site plans that trigger the site location development for the main DEP as well under their requirements. And that is often called SLOTA, and that is what we have this evening. That will come second on our agenda. Information on the city's codes and standards and the comprehensive plan are available on the city's website if you need to or would like to look at those. So public comment and how we will process the applications this evening for land development permits. We will first consider and vote on the application's readiness for review and any concerns with conflict of interest, if there may be any. For all other items, the applicant or the representative should come forward to the podium and provide a brief introduction to the proposal. Then they'll stay up at the podium while we consider questions from staff and from board members. For code amendments, staff sometimes make the presentation, although I'm not sure that's going to happen this evening. Once the item has been presented, the applicant may be seated, and that's when we will allow time for public comments. If there are any public comments, the person should come to the podium if they are here in the auditorium, and they should introduce themselves. Either way, if they're on Zoom, we will also allow them to come in as long as they use the raised hand function. Either way, they should introduce themselves, state if they are a Bangor resident or an abutter to the property, and indicate if they are for or against the proposal. It is also helpful if you present your thoughts based upon city's codes and standards and the comprehensive plan, as these are the primary documents used by the board to make our decisions. All comments and discussion should remain respectful and considerate of all others. I'm just going to emphasize that one because we've had a little trouble with that lately. So I'm just going to emphasize that. Once public comments are completed, we will close that item to public comment. The board will then deliberate on the proposal using the applicable standards. For clarity, when considering land development proposals, the code standards are typically read separately. A final decision is then read and voted on. If the applicant disagrees with the land development permit decision that the board has made, then they may appeal the decision to the Superior Court of Maine. Once a project you are interested in has been reviewed, you may leave the meeting, but please be respectfully quiet so as not to disturb the review of the other items that we may have on the agenda. So I know many of you heard all that before, but I still feel obligated to go through it. So we'll get right to the first item on the agenda, which was postponed from last meeting. And that was a proposal to amend the land development code by changing a parcel of land located at 69 Perry Road at map lot R28-009 from Industry and Service District and Contract Urban Industry District to non-contract Urban Industry District for the entire lot. Said area of land contains approximately 2.17 acres total and is more particularly indicated on the map, which we have in our packets. The applicant/owner is KMD Development. Does the applicant want to come up and make a presentation to us? Please make sure, if you would, just that the green light is on the microphone. There's a little button on the back there. That's it. You did it. Thank you.
Thank you. My name's Paul Daigle. I represent KMD tonight. And what we're looking to do is at 69 Perry Road, convert that from a C2 designation to VID. Our scope of business has changed quite a bit. We've got a production plant up north in Aroostook County, and we funnel a lot of our product going to the plant through Bangor. Our workload's increased to the point that we're now splitting production with this building down here to pick up what we can't handle up north. We've recently, within the last 12 months, purchased the old Harley Plumbing business just down the street from us on Thatcher Street, which we're still in the planning phase of how we're going to split this up, because it does put some bearing on them as far as a workload. And what happens, all our chassis coming in, we build ambulances. So all the chassis that come in, we partnered with Darling, are delivered to Bangor at the 69 Perry Road. We've just run out of place. With the 30% green grass requirements, we're just really tight. Even though we've got Thatcher, we usually fill that up pretty quick. So we're asking the city to change it from the C2 to the VID so we can totally use that property at 69 Perry Road. And our anticipation is to move service to the Thatcher Street within the next 24 months. So if you could do that for us, we could utilize our land to the maximum at 69 Perry Road and keep things moving.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate your presentation. And congratulations. It sounds like business is well. So that's good for you.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
A problem, but I'm sure
Yeah.
it's annoying in some ways. So before you sit down, staff have any comments on this one?
Just want to clarify, I think C2 might have been what the zone was called in the past, but the current zoning is contract UID and INS, and they're looking to go to all just regular UID.
Yep. Excellent. Thank you. Board questions of the applicant? No, seeing none. You may be seated, Paul. For now, we'll see if there are any public comments. I don't see anyone on Zoom. I see no one itching to get up yet in the building, so we'll call it good on the public comments. No more public comments on this item, and we will ask the board once again, any questions before? Yes.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. The old contract, has that been negated or does it need to be negated?
Well, if you were to approve the zone change, then that would negate the contract conditions.
Do the parties have to sign off on that?
What do you mean?
The original parties?
No, it's, since they own the property, it's up to them and the city, so it's an agreement between the city and the property owner.
Yeah, it just goes back so far that it's a little cloudy for me in terms of what has to happen.
I think, typically when contract zones are done, it's because the city wants more restrictions on the property at that time than, and so they come to an agreement with the property owner. But in this case, times have changed. This may not be what the city wants to see anymore, so it's kind of up to the city to say whether we want to keep the contract conditions or not.
Fair enough. Thank you.
I I don't have the map with me, but I don't think there's a lot of contract. Yeah, the asterisk does and the hatched lines, but I don't think there's a lot of contract zoning around there.
Sorry, I didn't go off of mute. I don't know if my question.
Yeah,
was
why
heard.
don't you go ahead?
But I was asking if the other properties in the area were contract zoned at all, and from looking at the map, it doesn't appear that any of them were. I just wanted to ask the question in case I was looking at the map wrong.
Thank you. Any other questions? No, okay. So what we would typically do with a zone change such as this, because it will go to the city council next, is we would, I will ask for a motion for this proposed amendment to the code. And then you would typically word that as ought to pass, and whether we vote for ought to pass or not, that's the way we would word the motion. So, motion? Yes.
Mr. Chair, I move as ought to pass zone change for 69 Perry Road, map lot R 28-009, Industry and Service District, INS, and Contract Urban Industry District, UID, to Urban Industry District, UID.
Excellent. And I have a second from member Basnet. Thank you.
Second, thank you.
Yep. And so let's go to a roll call vote with a majority to pass. Member Basnet,
Yes.
member Boucher,
Yes.
member Brush,
Yes.
member Hume,
Yes.
member Jonas.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So this has passed through the planning board at this point. So the next step that will happen is we will, through the staff, take a motion to the city council as recommendation that this ought to pass. And it will come up at the next city council meeting on Monday.
Sorry, because usually these meetings happen on Tuesday and that gives us
Yeah.
enough time to get things on the next agenda. I'm not sure. Might be the next meeting.
I would recommend to verify. We have a meeting next Monday, but if it doesn't make it to that meeting because of the tight time frame between now and then, it would happen at the next meeting after that. Okay? Thank you. You're all set. Yes. Thank you, you two. Okay, so that was old business now that we've taken care of. And so now moving on to new business. I want to bring up something. I made a mistake last meeting, which is not monumental, but I own it nonetheless. So we only asked the applicant if you would like to proceed when we have less than 7 members for land development permits. And last week we did that for a zone change, which was improper.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm actually glad you brought it up because there was so much else going on that evening that I just kind of went with it. And like I say, in the end, it's not impactful because nonetheless, they wanted to proceed. So it worked out just as well. But anyway, so that's why I skipped it for the first item. But for this item, it's necessary for me to ask the applicant if you would like to proceed with this review, even though this evening we only have 6 members and you are provided the option to wait until another meeting where we might have 7 members.
My understanding is you do have a quorum at the very.
We certainly have a quorum. Yeah,
Happy to proceed.
we can vote and we can proceed with it. The only reason why that might affect you is that you still need to have four votes to pass. And so with seven, you kind of have one more person that,
Sure.
you know, if it's close, then sometimes that matters. And that's,
We'll go ahead and proceed, but thank you.
okay. You're welcome. Thank you. So this next application, I will introduce it, is a land development permit application for site location of development application, MRSA Title 38, Section 484, for approval of construction of a three-story building with associated parking lot and outdoor play areas at property located at 315 Main Street, map lot 035-174. It's in the urban service district. And the applicant owner is Bangor Region YMCA. Just a reminder to the board that we reviewed this project in its first phase recently, but the SLOTA was not included in that. So this is now the SLOTA application for that same project. Staff has indicated completeness of the application and is ready for board review. Fees have been documented and are paid. The applicant's standing is confirmed. Does the board have any concerns with these issues or any concerns with conflict of interest? Seeing none. I feel like we had a question on conflict of interest last time.
Membership.
That was, yeah, from member Brush, right? But we cleared that up. Should we vote on this again?
No, I don't.
It's not necessary. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So with seeing no concerns and no conflicts, I would look for a motion on the application's completeness and ready for review. Member Brush?
Chair, I move that the applicant was deemed complete on November 5th, 2025. And the proposed project is a site location development application, MRS Title 38, Section 484.
Thank you. Do I have a second on this? Member Hume, thank you. And a roll call vote on application completeness. Member Basnet?
Yes.
Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So we have approved application completeness and are ready to go to the next step. So we would ask you to come back up, please. And yeah, and just give us a brief presentation. I mean, I've already kind of kicked this off a little bit, but just, you know, tell us what you can about what we're doing here. And then we'll go on to comments and questions.
So yeah, again, first of all, thank you for being here for a special meeting. I know it's another evening out of a busy month, but appreciate you coming in. Obviously, a item that Chimbro is like frothing at the mouth, I think, to get going out there. So appreciate the expediency here. As you mentioned, we were here a month or two ago for the land development permit, which was approved. At that time, we were had already submitted our state stormwater application to the DEP. And that had been pending for some time. A few days before their intended decision date, they came back to us and said, actually, we think this qualifies for a SLOTA. This should be reviewed under SLOTA. And we think it's going to be 6 months for them to review it. So we, knowing that you folks had delegated authority, that was the natural fit anyway, and the way it should go anyway in that case. So coming back to Jefferson and Anya and that team, submitted a SLOTA application for this, and obviously them having already reviewed this project, the standards that are reviewed in the SLOTA are very, very similar, if not identical to those of the city. So a lot of those items had already been reviewed and considered. So we just sort of put it all into one package that was titled as a SLOTA and sent it along to Jeff. So what you have before you is that SLOTA application package. No changes at all to the site since the last time you all saw it. It's really just that one last check in the box. So
Excellent. Thank you, Chip. Hang on up here and staff questions or comments first?
I don't have any. Jeff, did you have any?
If I could ask, I think I know the answer, but just since we got an email today, which seemed to focus primarily on just the dollars of the funding for the project, Um, I assume there was a reason why that got sent to us. Could we?
Yeah, just because one of the facets of site location development review is whether they have the financial capacity to do the project, and the documents were just to show that they do have that capacity.
Yep.
So,
Excellent, thank you. Do we need to speak to an addendum or anything? Yeah.
well, actually,
Yeah, there's,
they're not included in your exhibit, so you could, would they want to vote maybe to add that as an exhibit of record?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea to go ahead and vote to include.
and there were 3 documents, as I recall, and it wasn't just the graph, but the graph was helpful, I thought. Yeah. Yeah, it makes it clear, as I understood, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, I think they have something like fixed current funding of 43.5 million or something along those lines. The goal is to get to, I believe, something like 53 or 55. They expect construction and all costs to be somewhere around 51 or 52. So that would give them a little bit of float in there. And they're hoping to get, I believe, around $1.5 million more by the end of the year, because that will allow them a $10 million grant or a loan of some sort. And so they're kind of in a lot of ways almost there, but they're not really exactly there yet. So that's what I got out. Does that more or less sum it up? Yes, that's the 10 million tax credit. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, not really a loan, but thank you. Any other questions on that addendum? It sounds like we should have a motion to make that addendum part of the application and approval process this evening. Do I call it a certain number addendum, or do we just go with that?
You could add them on, well, you could say you're adding these out. I think there were 3 documents, add them on as 20 through 22. Does that make sense? Add them as exhibits 20 through 22 to the record.
Okay, sure. It does make sense. Thank you. So we have addendums 20 through 22 that are those 3 documents that you received today by email. I would like a motion on that.
Is that adding it to the application? Is that the motion?
Correct. Yep. Member Hume?
Yes, Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we add addendum 20, 21, and 22 to the application.
And I would recommend referencing the email that we received today from staff, because that's how we got it. Yep, excellent. Thank you. And I have a second from member Bazinet. Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. So this is to add the addenda received today to the package that we're approving this evening, if we approve it. And so a roll call vote, member Bazinet,
Yes.
member Boucher,
Yes.
member Brush.
Yes.
Member Hume,
Yes.
member Jonas.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So that takes care of the adding in the information that we received today. With that in mind, any other board member questions for the applicant's representative? Chip?
I have a question for staff.
Yes, member Jonas,
Okay,
please.
I just have a quick question for staff. So on page 816 of our packet, the letter from DEP references the properties project located on Godfrey Street. And I'm sure that's just a mistake on DEP's part. Do we need to inform them and have them reissue the letter?
I don't think they need to reissue it, because I mean, they're referring to Bangor Y.
They
as the
do. They refer to the
subject.
new project, the new Y and everything. They just have the location wrong.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Okay, just. Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate the attention to detail and finding that on page 800 and something, that's good. I'm glad. Yeah. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad somebody reads them. Usually they don't. So
So are we good? We're all set on that. We don't need to do anything more there. Okay. All right, thank you. Seeing no other questions for the applicant, Chip, why don't you sit down for a second and we'll see if we have any public comments. I suspect not, but let's just make that, we'll open up for public comments. Nobody here in the room and nobody on Zoom. So we will close public comments. And the next thing we would do is go to motion on standards unless board members have any other concerns before we get to that. Seeing none, I would ask for a motion on the standards. They're very short and simple this evening. So Member Jonas had her hand up first. So if you would give us a motion on part one, number one, I appreciate it.
Chair, I move the board finds that based on exhibits 1 through 19 plus the addition of 2021 and 22, 20, 21 and 22 today, the applicant is in compliance with 38 MRSA section 484 and applicable Department of Environmental Protection regulations, which includes chapters 371, 372, 373, 375, 376, 377, and 500.
Excellent, thank you. And a second by Member Brush, thank you. A roll call vote on part one, number one. Member Basnet?
Yes.
Member Boucher?
Yes.
I'm sorry, my microphone wasn't on. Member Basnet?
Yes.
Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So that gives us approval of part one of item one. Or item one of part one, I'm sorry. So that moves us right to the decision. Member Hume, you want to tackle that?
Yes, Chair, I'd like to move that the board finds that the project meets the requirements for a site location or development permit.
Thank you. A second on that one? Member Brush, thank you. Roll call vote. Member Basnet?
Yes.
Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So it is approved. You didn't risk anything with 6 members rather than 7. And I appreciate your presentation. You guys were all set with the SLOTA application. Okay? All right. Thanks for coming in.
Pretty short for 800 pages.
I know. Yeah, yeah, I believe it.
I was thinking
Yeah.
about that. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll just echo, guys, that it occurred to me just as we were bouncing around with some emails and looking at that package when it was 800 and some odd pages, that so much of it was, this really doesn't involve you guys. You can hang if you want to, but we were just having a little internal conversation here. That, don't be afraid if you want to suggest, as I did, that, if you have a huge chunk of soil samples that, I really think for the most part, most of us are just going to either flip through or skim or not even look at it all. You certainly don't need the staff to give you all of those if you don't want those. But we do need to make sure everybody has access to it because everyone has to have access to the same information. So as long as we can give you access and have it here in City Hall so you can get it if you want to, you don't have to get all 850 pages. So with that being said, please don't fear mentioning that if it happens in the future. So other business tonight, Solicitor Innes is going to give us some thoughts on the Hanover appeal. I believe Hanover is the owner. Anyway, you can explain to us what this is all about. It's an interesting thing, which was sort of in the background. We talked about it months ago. It's really Aroma Joe's is what we're talking about. And there was an update recently. And so carry on.
Feeling this is something that happened while I was
yes,
here.
yes.
This was the
I
one.
think it was.
They had Attorney Pease come in at the end of the day.
Yes.
And I think that they had some ruling from the governor's office or something. I can't.
That's what we're
remember.
going to talk about. So yeah, go ahead and
Yeah,
give us
so
the
the
information on that.
the reason we haven't really covered it is because we don't really talk about pending litigation except for an executive session, and it was all kind of happening like we'd get an update here and then nothing would happen for a while. And then it moved to this court and moved back to that court. And anyway, so it's over now, so we can talk about it in open session. And basically Hamover owned a property right next to Haskell Road, or they currently own a property right next to Haskell Road. No, it's over by Sam's Club, Hogan Road, yeah. Yeah, so Haskell Road like goes right by Sam's Club and all that.
If I may, just interrupt for a second. If you want to get into a bit of detail on it, it was added to our packet. So it's like the last 6 or 8 pages of that packet. Yep.
Yep, so Hamover appealed the planning board's decision on the Aroma Joe's project on Haskell Road, claiming that the city had exceeded our statutory authority delegated by SLOTA, which interestingly, we just talked about that, so and did not address the traffic conditions set forth in the original site law permit. So there were 2 arguments that the court covered. So the first one was the SLOTA argument, and the court affirmed the planning board's decision and said that the city was expressly given the authority to modify the SLOTA permit by up to 10 acres. There was some discussion about whether or not the law was clear on that, but the court said that this approach makes sense because the Department of Environmental Protection approved the original project, and the legislature was therefore comfortable allowing the city to approve up to another 10 acres. And this project was obviously far less than 10 acres. So, and then the traffic conditions argument, the Hamover Associates argued that the traffic movement permit should have been discussed by the planning board before the decision was given. And the court found that the traffic movement permit concluded that there were no adverse traffic operational impacts to on-site traffic and parking. And it stated that the permit focused on off-site traffic impact and called for improvements on the surrounding road system, and that Hamover hadn't made any arguments that these required improvements didn't occur. So the court said that it had no basis to doubt you guys' decision, that the modification to the SLOTA or the traffic movement permit would not, that the modifications would not unreasonably impact traffic on off-site streets. So the court in the end denied Hamover's appeal on the SLOTA permit issue and affirmed the planning board's decision, and the court found for the city on the traffic conditions issue. So it was a victory.
And I just wanted to add to that, because Dave Subject had sent us an email, just kind of reiterating that, you know, those findings that you guys go through, referring back to the exhibits, that really helped make the case in the appeal.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. The findings that you give us to get, I mean, which I'm sure are tedious for you as well, but it matters. Yeah, it matters. So it's, I mean, I like a pat on the back every once in a while. It's a good thing. So enjoy that, because it doesn't always happen, but we're doing some things good. And we're getting better, I think, at it, and that's all good. It's nice when the court affirms that. So, yes. Member Boucher, did you have something?
I was gonna get into the weeds, like based off my memory of that whole Aroma Joe's discussion about it. I thought it had more to do with an island that the DOT was talking about putting in to adjust the on-ramp or off-ramp or something like that. And that was the fear that they weren't gonna have a left turn out of the gas station there.
Yeah, that's actually a little bit separate issue.
Okay.
But same group of people fighting essentially.
Never did
but-
hear how they sorted it out. Did they decide to
So
work
they-
together to?
So this group appealed the state's traffic movement permit, but that got denied. And then the state has been working with the owners to do, I guess I should say, that median's still going in for that divergent diamond, but they've worked with the landowner to accommodate them with a back entrance kind of
Yeah.
Haskell Road.
All right.
Which DOT said all along they were gonna do anyway, so it was, but everything's moving forward and everybody seems to be happier now, and I think they realize that this is happening no matter what, so.
Right. Good. Yep. So that's that. Good job, everyone. Any thoughts on land development code or land use planning? We have a general place mark for that in our agenda. I don't have any items to bring up in particular. I already brought up, I wanted to make sure I talked to you guys about the mistake I made with the 6 members and 7 members. I've done that already, so that's on my list. Are there any other questions or concerns or things we need to go over? If not, we've worked swiftly this evening, which is always nice. Seeing nothing, it is 7:35 and our meeting